Many who don't understand P2B's legal team's strategy might be thinking that the dismissal of their application to question the INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu by the court is a serious setback. No, it isn't. There are many ways to achieve the same thing, and they will explore all options. If they want to invite the INEC chairman, they can do it. The respondents were expecting to see the INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu present in court, but they were presented with a video evidence of Yakubu telling Nigerians the rules of the election and how they plan to upload the presidential election results in real time on election day. Now, what did he do on election day? He did the exact opposite and blocked the upload of presidential election results. So while the respondents were still pondering on how to cross-examine the witness, P2B's counsel played a second video of another INEC official. They haven't recovered from the first and the second videos. They went ahead to play Tinubu's video where he confirmed the nomination of Shettima, which is a new evidence that wasn't in play before the Supreme Court delivered judgment on Shettima's double nomination. You could sense the disarray in their camp. The respondents couldn't even properly cross-examine the channel's TV guy who brought the evidence. This is how it is done. You take your opponent by surprise. The Labour Party must call witnesses that will base their testimonies on the forensic analysis of INEC certified true copies of the election results that they have tendered in court. This is not obligatory. They are not required to do it by the electoral law. But just to cover any technicality or the Supreme Court ruling that many have been talking about, the Supreme Court judgment is about who should tender evidence in court and concerning the INEC CTCs. Many are wondering whether the maker of the document should be the one to present it in court. In this situation, it doesn't really matter. What really matters is that a witness will testify and identify these documents, and in many cases forensically analyze them so as to cover all technical loopholes. Because going by the direction and arguments of the respondents in court, it is obvious that they are looking for loopholes to capitalize on. So going forward, Labour Party will need to prove to the court that P2B won the election, and when they start going through the evidence, the judges will see that Tinubu didn't score 25% in many states, that in most states they suppressed Labour Party votes and subsequently increased APC's votes to unimaginable levels. Now, let's see the states where the judges will recover Labour Party's votes, which will ultimately show that APC didn't score 25% there. Starting with Rivers State, where the rigging was so blatant that INEC themselves, who committed the rigging with Wike and his associates, they are now afraid to produce the results of two local government areas, Obiakpo and Falga local government areas. There is simply no way to cover up the heist. They know. That's why they are hiding the results. The world knows the truth, no matter how they hide it. The court must rely on alternative copies to recalculate the results in places where INEC failed to provide CTCs. Although it is very sensible to avoid using the alternatives to recalculate the lawful votes, so as not to give them room for any technicality. But INEC cannot hold everyone to ransom. The best and the quickest way for them to defend the declaration of Tinubu as the winner is to provide the results they collated and announced. It is that simple. Anything short of this simply shows they are hiding something, that truly Tinubu didn't win the presidential election, that they rigged the election in his favor. Is that logical for not just the judges to discern, but also every Nigerian? Because of how widely the real presidential election results in Rivers State have been exposed, some are trying to deceive Nigerians that even if the real results are subtracted from Tinubu's total votes, that it wouldn't make P2B the winner. But Rivers State rigging is only the tip of the iceberg. It shows a pattern. Besides, the recovery of Labour Party votes from 5 states alone and the subsequent deduction from Tinubu will push P2B to the first position. We already made a video about it. The link will be at the end of this video. Now to Cross River State, where the Labour Party won the highest populated local government areas with high margins, but surprisingly the APC still got 25%. It was a heist that will soon be unraveled. The same pattern can be seen in the presidential election results from Akwa Ibom State and Bayelsa State. In Nasarawa State, despite Labour Party winning high populated areas with good margins, It still didn't translate to a landslide win when the final collation was done. The heights that happened in Nasarawa State will also be unraveled. When the results started coming in during the election, it must have taken Nasarawa State governor by surprise because Sule gloated during the campaigns that the Labour Party wasn't going anywhere. He even frustrated Labour Party's campaign by refusing to give them the stadium for their campaign. He later played down the attendance of Labour Party campaign, so it's not a surprise that they did everything they could to rig the election to their favor in order to save face. In Kaduna State, Labour Party won 7 local government areas according to INEC results. PDP won the majority, but somehow APC managed to come second. It's plausible that the APC got votes from highly populated areas, but the results show that the votes of the Labour Party were hugely suppressed. Who knows, when the lawful votes are counted, APC might not have gotten 25%. Despite what El-Rufai wants people to believe, the Northerners also rejected his party. APC lost Katsina State, lost Kano and Kaduna States. So where did they get their votes from? The Labour Party will also be looking to reclaim Taraba State and recover their suppressed votes in Adamawa, Atiku's home state. Atiku must have been surprised by how popular Peter Obi is in Adamawa and the massive votes he got there. The recovery of Labour Party votes in Adamawa will reveal that APC never got up to 25% of the total votes cast in Adamawa State. This will also happen in Gombe State, where Atiku won and they suppressed Labour Party votes. When lawful votes are counted in Gombe State, APC's total votes might not be up to 25%. In Plateau State, where Labour Party won, they suppressed their votes like in Nasarawa State. Even a PDP chieftain said this on national television that he saw more than 1 million votes for Labour Party in their situation room. So it's obvious that APC didn't score up to 25% in Plateau State. Everyone knows what happened in Lagos. In fact, the landslide win of the Labour Party made them to change strategy. If they knew how unpopular Tinubu is in Lagos, they would have used the same strategy they deployed in the governorship election. It was what they saw during the presidential election that humbled Sanwo-Olu, someone that dodged all debates before the presidential election, suddenly started moving around churches, soliciting for votes. He even enabled comments on his Twitter handle. It shook them back to reality and forced them to come down from their high horses and engage with the people they want to lead. This is why free and fair election is very important. It is the only way to hold leaders responsible. But when leaders believe that your votes don't matter, that they will just rig the elections and buy their way through the courts to legitimize their rigging, we can never get accountability and good governance from such politicians. To them, it is business, spend money and recover the money with huge margins when they get to office, and they are ready to go to any length to achieve it. That was why many of their associates played the ethnic card before and during the election. They forcefully prevented many people from voting just because they aren't Yorubas. So all Igbos or anyone that couldn't prove his Yoruba was prevented from voting in many places in Lagos. Up till now, Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu, who benefited from the massive disenfranchisement of Nigerian citizens in Lagos, have never uttered a word about it. No apology, no acknowledgement. They are carrying on as if nothing like that happened. The only indirect way they have acknowledged what happened is the new law that the Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly announced they will pass. If they succeed in passing the law, it will be the first time after the colonial times that a law will target Nigerian citizens just because they aren't indigenous to Lagos State. So with this law they are planning to pass, it means that the leaders of APC were behind the tribal discrimination during the election. It is very important to differentiate these people from the larger Yoruba people because of people who like to generalize. When it comes to activism, human rights, Yoruba people have set the pace in Nigeria. From Ransom Kuti family, Gani Fawemi, and many others too numerous to mention. So these guys do not speak for the larger Yoruba populace. This election petition isn't hard to prove for the Labour Party. Let's not worry at this stage what the tribunal judges will do, because we are all in it together. No one can escape happenings in Nigeria, no matter how highly placed the person is. No one has ever won the presidential election without winning his region. Obasanjo won Southern Region. Yaradua, Goodluck Jonathan, and Buhari all won their regions when they contested. Only Bola Tinubu lost his region. Going by the INEC announced figures, even with all the rigging, P2B still won the Southern Region. Imagine how the margin will be when the lawful votes are recalculated by the tribunal judges. P2B also won more votes than Tinubu in the Southern Region plus the Middle Belt. He won Nigeria's political capital, Abuja, by a landslide. Even in Aso Rock polling unit, he won. He won Nigeria's commercial capital with a landslide. So the true winner of the presidential election is very obvious, never mind that the politicians he will retire when he assumes power don't want to accept publicly. But by the actions of some of them, you will know that the true results of the presidential election humbled them. So the Labour Party legal team just needs to prosecute this matter very diligently, and the people's mandate will definitely be recovered. Thanks for watching.